Here with the World Trade Index, it became more expensive to produce a product here in the United States than it did anywhere else in the world in 1985. One of the reasons was your energy costs in a foreign country were way lower than they were here in the United States.
J O N E S. Janakia, come here.
What?
My passport's not working.
The computer shut down. They found out I was showing stuff, and they said,
It's going.
okay, it's going again. This is your trade index. These are the numbers. When you think about how minute these little numbers are, when you think about the baby boom and selling a hula hoop to 80 million kids, that little penny they're talking about, or that tenth of a penny, becomes millions of dollars. I have a proposal to bring back manufacturing in the United States. It has to do with the electric grid. But we have to identify some of the problems. One of them was housing. It looks like we have a government that's intent on destroying our economy so that they can reduce the wages in the world, so that they can have the New World Order and one common currency. We have two factions. We have the academics from the universities who have foundation money, and we have the businessmen. As you can see, this is the manufacturing of housing. It doesn't look like anything of this graph here where they sold a bunch of houses to a bunch of underqualified buyers. And right here at this point, that's when Nancy Pelosi took the gavel in the Speaker's house and created 2 million jobs in the SEIU by employing people for disabled care by the federal government. This is a typical ploy by women in government who want to go ahead and put their hooks in and don't want to let go. They're saying basically here, if you don't keep us employed, then we'll default on the home loans we gave you. So this is a technique to collapse the economy. And so you can see this was just the beginning. The SEIU was an overt action to get leadership from the labor union so we didn't manufacture goods. They also wanted to go ahead and let Russia become a world oil producer, and so they wouldn't let us into Alaska. There's too many things going on here saying certain factions are trying to grab power. They didn't build it. They didn't do anything to produce any of these houses. They didn't pay for them. And now they're going ahead and trying to destroy the economy with cap and trade, Dodd-Frank and financial. And really what this is how do we insert welfare to work women into jobs that are paid for by the government. And if you look at health care, you look at Dodd-Frank and financial, you look at, what was the last one? Housing. All these things were done to go ahead and promote putting women into jobs because they don't want to come out and work in the hot sun with the men. They want to pick and choose what jobs they have. Well, we have a problem here. As we grow the single mother, we also grow government workers. We're incentivizing single parenthood now, not families where a father and mother raise a child and the child becomes a better citizen and an honest tax-paying individual. So you can see as marriage is dropping off, so is private sector employment dropping off. Now we're at that point where we're going to cross, and that's what we would call socialism. The big problem here is health care. With health care, this is our population growth. This is our retiree growth. And this is actually probably way under what it actually is because we're allowing 1.5 million citizens come in and become citizens of our country at a various number of ages, not newborns. This is based on, say we went just with new births. Here in 2050, half our population will be retired. That means half of it will be on needing Social Security and half of it will be needing Medicare, something of which they think their solution is to go ahead and manage it by government. The truth is, this managed care they're doing is because the government worker, state, federal, local, municipal, county, does not want to give its fair share. I have charts here showing what the government worker pays for health care. These charts are given out by Kaiser. This is how much they want you to pay for health care. But if you're a construction worker and you pay for a Cadillac plan, or your employer does, you pay 3 and 4 times what they'll pay for a government worker to have the same medical care that you do. And yet they will use 4 times the dollars because the majority of them are women. And 80% of your health care costs are for women and children. My plan proposed is to go ahead and put a superhighway together, to put people to work in precast yards, to precast these little boxes that we can run concrete, we can run PVC tubes through to run our electric grid in. It's also to run water or fiber optics or whatever you want. But you can make a national train system, super rail, right down the middle of your highway. You can integrate water, hook it into your Great Lakes, hook it into your lakes high up, pressurize it, and go ahead and use gravity drain to produce water all over your country, right on your freeways. You don't have to use eminent domain. You don't have to. You can end up putting fiber optics, water, a brand new electric grid, easy to maintain, all in PVC tubes on your freeway, encased in concrete, so your train cannot derail, and you make it so it goes only one way. There's a lot of options here. There's a lot of things that an electrical engineer can do. There's a lot water management people could do. There's a lot of Homeland Security could do with surveillance. There's a lot people in communications could do. This would be an all-around thing that could put people to work, take them out of the public sector, put them in the private sector, increase Cadillac plans in healthcare to ensure that we go ahead and take care of our elderly. And it's just a matter of going to work. We have the natural resources. What we've had here is a whole bunch of people, and I'm going to show you a couple little more charts. This one's population and the growth of population on it per every 10 years. This kind of gives you an idea of where we're headed. Some of these other graphs were government workers, and I think I saw this. My problem is a lot of these facts are being represented by the women in government. And the way they did housing here, it is quite apparent with Nancy Pelosi doing cap and trade right off the bat, then passing the health care bill, which is cap and trade was an attack on your energy of your GDP. That would have been 40%. The attack on your health care was 18% of your GDP. That didn't leave much else left that they didn't control. So they are creating the destruction of the economy so they can take it over. They know that if we go back to the 1950s and 60s and rebuild the infrastructure that is now 50 years old and has to be replaced, they have to get rid of over half the employees they presently employ in government. And women flood the market there with welfare to work. You're going to have to look these facts up. They're all in statistical abstract, and now that this information is coming out, they want to go ahead and stop printing statistical abstract. They slowly but surely diluted the information, and I'm not sure I can trust it. We need somebody in Congress that's going to send in some really good accountants to go through and find out what they did with the money. They created this housing problem. They did it on purpose. This is what the decline was that was managed by Nancy Pelosi. They stole the infrastructure money. They've done everything in their power to destroy the economy. If you didn't look at your energy boys, you better look at them again, because they're saving this country right now.